Good afternoon, my good friends. Today is April 17. Now it's 2:30. It's time for Dhamma teaching. And today I'm going to talk about the truth and over life, truth of life. Before we go to that, I would like to tell you about the language of the world. The language. The most important thing that you have to know, at least two kinds of languages. Number one is human language. Number two is Dhamma language. If you have a chance, you can buy a book that comes from one lecture of Buddhadasa that he said about Dhamma language and human language. If you don't know the Dhamma language, when you read Dhamma, you will not understand, because you will interpret in the way of human language. Human language, normally they will talk about in the world of materials, but Dhamma language, they will talk in the world of mind or spirit. Like when you say about Buddha in human language means a man in history that happened in the world more than 2,000 years ago. I think you heard about the Buddha life, that the billionaire of India pay a lot of money to build this film. Did you hear about that? If you have a chance, you can find and have a look. Yes, it has about 55 parts. 55 parts. From 55 parts, you can conclude in one sentence. After you have seen that story of that man, and then you can conclude how to run your life in one sentence. What is that? One sentence means you have to live with the present, here and now. That's your real life. In the past, that's the dream. You cannot go back anymore. In the future, you just dream again. You dream for future, but that's not the real. And the real life just only the present time in front of you, right here and now. That you can feel it, you can touch it, you can do with it. But even the present, here and now, you cannot hold, you cannot grasp, you cannot attach, because that illusion is moving all the time. Can you see it? See, the present, you cannot hold it, it's moving. That's one sentence. That means you have to live your life with the present, here and now. So free your mind here and now. Don't worry about the past. The past has gone. Don't worry about the future. The future never comes. You can plan for future, but the future never comes. You cannot go to the future right now. You can plan for it, but when you plan, and the future in your plan, but you realize in the present. You realize you plan for tomorrow. You can plan for tomorrow, but you cannot go to the tomorrow. You see that? So realize just only here and now. So you live your life with here and now on the middle path. You know, middle path. middle path. Middle path it means that you will not run your life with positive or negative. You run your life above positive and negative. That's the middle path. That's the human language in the meaning of Buddha. That's the man in history. The man in history, that when you mention about Buddha. But in Dhamma language, when you mention about Buddha, Lord Buddha said when he was alive, if you cannot see the Dhamma, you cannot see me. He says in Pali, if you can see Dhamma, and then you can see me. If you cannot see Dhamma, you cannot see me. That means real Buddha is Dhamma. I talk about Dhamma for many times. What do you know? What is Dhamma? Now, today, what is Dhamma? Pardon?
Truth of life.
Truth of life. What else? Pardon? Your duty. Okay, good. What else? Pardon? Law of nature. What else? That I said about Dhamma many times.
The way to end the suffering before another way.
The way to get out of suffering. That's Dhamma. Okay. What else? Do you remember about the four meanings of Dhamma? One is nature, two is law of nature, three duty to the law of nature, and the last one is the benefit or the fruitful from your duty that you have done to the law of nature. The four meanings of Dhamma. And Dhamma, in the other meaning that I said, Dhamma is life. Life is Dhamma. So life has the law of nature. Life has duty to do the law of nature. And life have to get the fruit or the benefit from do the duty to the law of nature also. You see that? So the Dhamma. And Dhamma does mean everything, nothing. There are no exception when we say Dhamma. That one day in Buddha time, a man who really liked to see the Buddha, because when he see the Buddha, he feel very happy, because Buddha face look bright and it show out of the happiness. Like a friend of mine, he's Dr. Martin, he's German guy. He came to my place and he said he feels very jealous, jealous to the Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama. Why? Because Dalai Lama, when you look at his face, is full of happiness. Have you seen him? You see that? Full of happiness. And he said, Dalai Lama, he doesn't have a lot of money. He doesn't have a lot of power. Dr. Martin, my friend, he has a lot of money. When he wants to go anywhere, he can fly, he can do many things. But he don't have much happiness like Dalai Lama. So, this truth is come out with money cannot bring about happiness at all. But money can help you to serve your convenience. See that? If you have more money, You want to go to Bangkok, you can fly. If you don't have money, you have to walk to Bangkok. You see that? That money can serve you for your convenience, but not happiness. Happiness comes from the state of mind. Money, you can buy the golden bed. You know golden bed. But you cannot buy your sleep. Can you see that? Even you sleep on the golden bed, but your mind is still worried, you cannot sleep, even in the golden bed. See that? So money cannot bring about happiness. Dalai Lama, he doesn't have much money, but he has full of happiness. So happiness, all of you can have the same. When do you have the full happiness? Do you know? When? When you can reach the state of full happiness? From your practice mindfulness with your breathing. If you reach the state of mindfulness, you reach the state that your mind unifies in one point. In one point. That's we call in Pali eka khatachit. That means only one point. That means your mind unified in one point. And then at that time your mind calm, clean and clear. Your mind calm. When your mind calm, and then it's, the characteristics of your mind. It has 3 characteristics happen to your mind. Number 1, your mind is pure or purity. P-U-R-E, pure. When your mind calm, you you calm the water calm, and then all muddy will stay under at the bottom of the place. See that? And then your mind clean, very clean, and calm and clear at that time. That means the first characteristic is purity. When your mind purity, that means your mind have the highest happiness. So all of you can reach the highest happiness. No exception. Even the beggar, the beggar who begs the money on the street, and the prime minister of the country, they can reach the same state. They can reach the highest happiness. Did you get it? But the beggar and the prime minister, they have the different convenience. The prime minister, when he wants to go somewhere, he can fly. But the beggar has to walk. See that? But the happiness, they have the same. So all of you have the same happiness when your mind is calm and clean. That's the first one, is purity. When your mind have purity mind, that they call in Pali, they call parisutto. Parisut, that means pure. Parisutto. When you mind have the parisutto, that means you are very, in this book, it's explained about it. You read it later. You listen to me first. You listen to me first, and you can read it later. Yeah. In the book, it's mentioned about that I'm saying now. So, when your mind pure, that means you reach the highest happiness. So all of you have a chance the same. Not because of the poor, not because of you are very young, not because of you are a man, not because of you are what? A lady, you see. If your mind pure, you reach the same state. that happiness. When your mind reach the happiness, if you use your mind, the happiness mind, to work, what happened to the work? You will get the good work or not good work. You work with the happiness. Your mind, very happy. Like you listen to me now, you listen with the happy mind. You see, you will learn because you enjoy listening, you enjoy learning because your mind is very happy. That's the quality, number one, of your life. Number two, your mind is firm or firmness, F-I-R-M, firm or steady, the same meaning. Very firm, stable. When your mind firm, this means you can use your mind to do your duty. As much as you want. Like you want to do your duty, you want to listen to me 1 hour. You will set your mind and you will listen continuously. You will not go anywhere. See that? That's firmness mind. So pure or purity and firm or firmness or steady. So you can work long because of the firm mind. You can work long. And the last one, your mind very active. Because activeness. Active, that means really active to think, really active to do your duty. 3 characteristics. So 1, pure or purity. 2, firm or firmness. 3, activeness. You see that? That's your meditation. You get the right meditation mind. That means your mind unified in one point. See that? And all of this will focus on here and now. So you practice your mindfulness with breathing. You want to live with here and now in front of you. You will do your duty the best. Why I said this morning, today is the last day. Because everything happen and go, never come. And then you will do your duty the best in front of you. If you don't do the best, you don't have a chance to come back to change anymore. Because of your mindfulness with breathing can help you to stay with the present. Okay. And then, that's the truth of life or the Dhamma. If you treat the Dhamma, you see the truth of life, that means you see Buddha. That's the Buddha. So the Buddha in you that I mentioned before this, actual Buddha is the full bloom of nature, inherent in every man. I will say again, actual Buddha is the full bloom of nature, inherent in every man. In Tibet, when you pay respect to someone that they call Anjali, you know Anjali? That means you don't Anjali to the person, you Anjali to whom? Anjali to the Buddha in you. This means all Buddha in you. Buddha, this means Buddha, it has, we call element Buddha. It's an element, element Buddha. Element Buddha, that means that element will be ready for awaken, for the bliss, for the right that happen to the mind of all humans. That's the element of Buddha. So all of humans, they have element Buddha, but they still sleep. So you have to awake, to check it. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And then you will see the truth by yourself. That's the Dhamma language when we say about Buddha. You see that? So human language is mean the materials like this. That's the people, the Buddha. But the Buddha said, even you hold my rope, if you don't see Dhamma, you don't see me. So real Buddha in Dhamma language means the truth. The truth of life, truth of nature. What is the truth? The truth is illusion, nothing permanent. The things change all the time. When things change, that means it's void. V-O-I-D, void or emptiness. No ego, no animal, no man, no plants, Man, plants, animals, what's that? That's the given name. That's the truth that human made, the language, to call things around you. You name it, you call it. I will show you. The scientists call H2O. What is H2O? H2O. Pardon? Water. You see, the British call water. How about German? How about Russia? What do you call? In Russian language? Fada. You see that? Not water, it's fada. So you have to fight. What is that then? Fada or water? See that. If you come to India, they call Uttarakhand. You come to Thailand, they call Nam. Did you hear about this word? Nam. Nam, that means water. You see that? That's only the name. And what is water that you say? It's composed of two elements. What's that? What? Hydrogen and oxygen. If you separate hydrogen and oxygen, what happens? No more water. See that? If you put hydrogen and oxygen together, what happens? The water come up. You see that? So, there is water or there is no water. You cannot say. So the thing in natural phenomena is come out by the law of cause and effect. See that? By the law of cause and effect. When you put this with this thing will happen. You see that? When sperm go to the womb of the lady has what? The eggs that's ready to fertilization. When the sperm meet the eggs, what happens? Fertilization. After that, changing in the womb for 40 weeks. You see, after 40 weeks, come out. Come out. Do you have the name before you come out of the womb? You got name after you come out of the womb. Who gave you a name? Your parents, your mothers, or your priest of that religion give you a name. You see that? If you don't like that name, can you change your name? Yeah, you go to what? The district officer. Tell him I want to change my name. You see that? So, you don't crazy with that name, because that only we name it, we call it for communication. We name it for communication. Can see that? That's the truth of human language. That's human language. See the language? And the language can go in many ways again. The silence language, silence. You don't say any words, but the silent language. Sign language, S-I-G-N, sign language, or symbol language, or body language, you see? See? When I say this, that's language also, you see that? See? See? That's the language. Or you can blow the whistle. What's that? That's the language also. You know that. So that human made many ways that to communicate by using the language in many ways. So, when you name something, like you say man, you say man. You know, even the people who speak English, do they understand the same meaning when you say man? Do they understand the same meaning when you say a man? Huh? Do they understand the same meaning? Or can understand in the different meaning? Even you say a man, you say that. So, when you say a man, it means human. See. But some lady said, I don't want to use this word, because when you say a man, it means the male. So the woman liberation will say, you don't say man, you have to say person. You see that? So that's the language play in many ways. So when you say about chairman, you know chairman. And the lady says, no, you don't use chairman. You have to use chairperson. Can you get what I mean? That's the way this language plays. You know, even you use the same word, but you understand differently. So before we talk, we have to give the define or definition of that word. What you are going to mean by this word. Because one word can go in many meanings. See that? Right? Can you get me? So you don't, what? You don't get drunk with the language. Okay. So, as I say, so it has at least two kinds of language, Dhamma language and human language. If Dhamma language, the language of the mind or language of the spirit. When I say, you are what? You are the angel. Angel, that means the language of mind. That means your mind at the time you are really joyful, you are very happy, but you are a kind of animal. That means you are feeling your behavior like animal. That's from your mind. See, that's from there. That you can change all the time. That's the Dhamma language. When you say, so you have to read your mind. And then that means you can read your life. Inside, you can read. Where are you now? Are you in hell or are you in the heaven? You see that. If you get boring, now you are in the hell. See that? That's the language, Dhamma language. Can you get that? You see, when you read the book, Dhamma book, when you read the Bible, the same thing. When the Bible says, if someone beat your left cheek, you give the others. That's the Dhamma language, not human language. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Compassion.
Pardon?
Compassion.
No. If someone beat you at the left cheek, you give the other. What does that mean in Dhamma language? It doesn't mean that you give the other. So, okay, beat me more. No. It doesn't mean in that way. It means that that man beat you only one cheek. That's very little. If it beat you more, the other cheek, you will not get angry with that person. You see that? You know what I mean? That's the Dhamma language. If that person take your church away, you give the blanket to follow to give to him also. What's that mean? In Dhamma language, that means if someone steals something from you, that's very little. If they steal more than that, you will not get angry with that person. You see that? That's the Dhamma language. That means you can keep your mind in peaceful mind. Can you get that? It doesn't mean that you have to carry your blanket to follow to give that person. It doesn't mean that. That's not human language. And again, when it said, love your neighbor as yourself, it doesn't mean that you have to go and to say that you have, I love you. It doesn't mean that. That means you love your neighbor as yourself. That means the real love in you, not outside. That's the Dhamma language, in your mind. If you love, that you have love in your mind. If you have hatred, the hatred happens in your mind and hurt yourself. And see that? That's the Dhamma language. So when you read, you have to understand the language. Okay. And don't you think that animals, they have language also? Yes, they have. But they have only instinctive language. So the animals in the world, they have the same language. They use the same language. They communicate by the instinct. Like they show the pain, they show they're hungry. You see that? So the human, when a child, at a baby child, when a child cries, mother will know why the child cries. Because of hungry or because of she got pain. You see, it's showing from the instinct. That's the language. So in animal world, they have this. All over the world, they will show. When they get hungry, they will show the language of instinct. Okay, that's the kind of language.
Isn't instinct or following your instinct the natural way for humans? Because if you follow or observe nature, everything is in perfect order. Everything works in nature as it should. So shouldn't humans also be more instinctual? Not use their mind so much. Even the word mindful, like for me, it means your mind is full, literally. So in a sense, I would like to be, mindless. Be more heartful. Be mind empty. In a way, just have your instinct. Follow your instinct. Follow your intuition. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay. Would you agree with that, or what's your?
I cannot say agree or disagree.
Okay.
I cannot say agree or disagree.
Sure.
But you have to think one thing, that language that human made. We made for communication. And even instinct language, it makes sound, and then they can communicate from animal to animal, that they shows what they need. You see, that's the language. And again, now you come to the truth. And when you talk about the truth is one. The truth is one. Only one truth. The truth is one. But sage, you know sage? S-A-G-E? Sage says in many ways. I say again. Truth is one. But sage says in many ways. I think Buddha, Jesus Christ, and Nabi Muhammad, if they have a chance to meet each other, they can understand well. You see, because they have seen the truth. That's very easy to communicate. But you know what happened to their disciples? What happened to Muslim? Are they understanding among Muslim? There are some Muslim, they will kill each other among Shia and Sunni. You know that? You don't know that? That's a conflict in the belief of religion. You see, in Iran, that's Shia. In Iraq, that's Sunni. I have been in Iran. Who has been in Iran? Iran. That's Persia. You know, that's the land of Shia. When Sunni see Shia, Sunni want to kill Sunni. Sunni want to kill Shia. That's because of different disciples. Sunni and Shia. And again, Muslim and Christian. What happened? We have the war. That we have crusade war. Did you hear about that? The crusaders. If you go to Israel, in Haifa, have you been there? They have what? The monument. They have like a museum that for crusaders in Haifa. The place that they were fighting. They were not fighting only one day. They're fighting for 100 years. So many people were killed in the war of religion because crusaders. Did you hear about that? You see, that's the crazy of human. Even they follow Christ, they follow Nabi Muhammad. But they still use their religion to serve what? To serve ego. You see, if you use religion to serve ego, that you will have more selfish and you will kill one another. That's the way that human history, you see that? So, the truth is one, but sage says in many ways. What is the truth is one? The truth is one. What is the truth then? So the truth, one, you can explain. Two, unexplained. You cannot explain it. So, some say the best one cannot be said. The best one cannot be said. Can you get that? The best, you cannot be said. Yeah. Yeah, cannot be said. So that's the truth. It has two ways. Number one, you can explain. Number 2, cannot explain.
Why is this duality all the time? Like we will never find happiness, but we have to go in search of happiness. This duality all the time.
Happiness,
Do you understand duality?
quality,
Duality.
duality,
Duality.
dual. Huh?
Yeah.
Like contradiction.
Okay, I know.
Why is it? Is there an explanation or it's just like this?
Yeah. So, can you explain or you cannot explain? Can you explain or you cannot explain? You see, this come from.
Feel,
Yeah.
but I cannot explain. I would like to know why.
And why you have to.
Maybe there's not a why.
Yeah.
It's just like this. It's just like this.
If you come out like this, I will ask you why you ask that question again. Because you don't know. If you know, you will not raise that question. You raise that question because you don't know. So in nature will play their role. Nature will run their ways by law of nature. You see that? So, as I say, the truth, one, you can explain. The second one, you cannot explain. The truth that you can explain, I call relative truth. Relative truth. You know relative? Relative truth that human give the name of all things for communication. And normally relative truth, that means you will name things that will relate to some other things. Okay, I will show you, like you call the day and night. Why you have day and night? That related to the world going around itself. You see that? That's relative to the natural phenomena. That relative truth you explain by relative from this thing to that thing. If the world moving around the sun, what happens? The season will come. You see? The season. Like rainy season, summer, or what? That's from the world moving around the sun. But if the world moving around itself, that's come out with the day and the night. You see that? That's relative. And then we name so many things. So I will ask you, among mother and child, who were born first? Mother and a child, who were born first? Yeah, you see, you can answer very, very fast without thinking. You say that mother were born first, but in fact, mother and child were born in the same time. Can you get me? Can you get the meaning? So, in normal communication, you say that, oh, mother were born maybe 30 years or 40 years, and then the child will be born, right? But in fact, mother and child were born in the same time. If you got pregnant and you have abortion, you are not mother, right? You see that? You got pregnant and then you give a birth. When you give a birth and life, that's a child, And you are the mother at that time. In the same time, the mother and child. Huh? Can you get me? What do you think? You never think in this way? Cindy? This is the way of language play, you know. So, now that I have a chance to talk to you, because I use the second one, that's the truth that can explain. So I try to explain the truth. But the truth that I explain, I use what? I use relative truth to explain the ultimate truth. The truth that cannot explain. But I try to explain. You see that? So, truth is one. We divide that into to explain. Number one is absolute or ultimate truth. The second one is relative truth. Absolute truth, that means no words to explain. Even absolute, you still name it. You see that? When you see the truth, you don't have any words to say. When you speak out, that's relative. But we try to create the relative truth to explain absolute truth. So that's only the explanation. But the real absolute truth, you will see by yourself. Like when I mentioned about illusion, you have to see by your wisdom. You see illusion by your wisdom. Again, when I talking about this, the truth you cannot see by your normal senses. Your normal senses, six senses, you cannot see the ultimate truth. You cannot see the absolute truth. Because your normal senses have a very low quality. Very low quality, you see. Okay. You know, in the air, you cannot see anything. Don't you think in this air nothing is empty? You know, that there are many radio frequency in the air now, full of radio frequency. Can you see it? Can you hear it? Can you hear the frequency of radio in the air? No. Because your ears can listen to the sound from 20 megahertz. Below 20 megahertz, your ears cannot listen. And up to 20,000 megahertz. Above 20,000 megahertz, your ear cannot listen anymore. See that? And then the radio frequency is very high, so your ears cannot listen. If you want to listen to the radio frequency, you have to use the receiver, you know, and then catch that frequency and what? Change from that high frequency to the normal frequency as your ears can listen. Can you see that? So in the air, that you see there's nothing, but in fact, so many things in the air. You see that? So your normal six senses, you cannot see the ultimate truth. You see electricity there? It stops 100 times per second. That's one. Can you see? That electricity stops when your watch click, that's 100 times. You see, it's very fast. Why? Why I know? Because in our country, we use AC current. You know AC? AC, that's alternative current. Electricity. Alternative, that means it's going like this. That's alternative. Alternative current. And in our country, we use 50 cycles or 50 kilohertz, 50 cycles. That means each cycle will go to 0 2 times. You see, I can see this, just stop 100 times, not from my eyes, from where? From my wisdom, from my eyes, this eyes of wisdom. Because I know, I have knowledge. See that? If you don't have knowledge, you don't know. You see the truth. So when I say illusion, yes, I can see illusion, but you cannot see illusion if your mind is still going like this. You can see illusion only peaceful mind. I try to explain in the simple way. Like you take your breathing in, you take breathing out, you take breathing in again. That's not the same time. That means happen and go, flowing. Happen and go, flowing. That means you cannot do it the second time. So one says you cannot step in the same river twice. Can you get that sense? You cannot step in the same river twice. What does that mean? In normal explanation, when that river is flowing in front of you, you jump into the river and you come up, so that river flowing away. You jump, not the same river, not the same water. You see? This really simple explanation. But you explain more, your body change, that area change, everything is changing, it's moving all the time. No need to see the flowing water. But in normal explanation, the people would like to see that the water flowing. That's very easy to explain. You see that? So, the truth. Why we have to know the truth? Why? To know the truth for what? If we don't know the truth, how we can live in the world? The truth. You know or you don't know. You're still alive. But you will live differently. If you know the truth and you see illusion, and your mind will not attach anything. Because all living beings, all materials is illusion, is moving, is changing. You see that? You know or you doesn't know, you're still alive. But if you don't know, you will cling, you will grasp, you will hold. You see that? And then you will live with suffering. You know the truth because you want to free from suffering. Can you get that?
I'm trying to grasp. I don't know. I have a mixture of feelings. But would it be better or more understandable to talk more about acceptance?
Acceptance.
Yeah.
Acceptance what?
Acceptance. Instead of truth, instead of happiness, acceptance. Isn't that couldn't acceptance be a kind of truth? I mean, there is a truth and there's not a truth. There's a truth that we cannot grasp, we cannot understand. But then there's a common truth that comes with knowledge. Could it be that...
why we have to talk about the truth? Because why we have to talk about the truth? Because we have problems. If we don't have problems, no need to talk about the truth. We talk about the truth because we want to solve our problems. If we don't know the truth, we have problems because when we will cling or we will attach yourself, touch your body, you attach your body, you will cling your body, you will hold your body, you don't want to die. But you have to die and you will cry because you don't want to die. Because you are an ego, you don't want to die, you want to live. You see? Have you seen somebody when they want to pass away? Somebody they don't want to die. They want to, I would like to still alive. But you have to pass away at that time. Did you see someone that when they want to pass away? And all of you have to pass away. Do you believe me? No exception. And that day I have seen so many people at the hospital. The last chance been before you pass away. So many people, they don't want to go. You see, you want to hold your body. You want to hold your life. That means you have problem before you die. Even you live now, you have problem because you hold things. You want things happen as you want, but the things will happen by the law of cause and effect, not because of your want. See that? So why we are talking about the truth? You see the truth, and then you will release your attachment. You will go away from attachment. One day I went to Texas University in Austin campus, in America. I don't see the name of university, but they say some good words. The big word. It says, Thai, T-H-Y. Thai, that means own English. Thai, that means you. Thai shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Can you get that?
How can one discern what is truth? Is there like a way? There's a lot of information. How do you discern, what is truth?
How do you know what is truth and what is not truth?
How you know?
Yeah.
You don't know that from my explanation? What is truth, what is not truth?
I mean, I have my own feelings and intuitions again,
If you don't know what is truth, what is not truth, and I try to explain to you almost 1 hour now. You don't know what is truth, what is not truth. That means my explanation is very, very, very low quality. So that's my fault, not your fault. So I will say, excuse for that you spend a lot of time to listen to me. Because I try my best, but you cannot understand. That means my fault, not your fault.
You're telling truth, or you're telling some things are really they feel true, they are true, but then you mix them with lies, and you create a lot of confusion over here. I feel like there's a lot of innocent minds that will go home.
Okay, you stop.
Even more confused than they were when they came here. Mm-hmm. And there's no amount of meditation that can get rid of that poison, that is put in their mind.
The truth is anger is arising and you go into the body.
Yeah, but there's a reason anger is rising. There's a reason for anger to rise.
The listener have problem. Why? When you listen to someone, you don't listen to understand what I say, but you try to ask the question.
You're talking out of your asshole.
No.
Your mouth is moving, but the sound is coming out of your crapper. You can see this is very disrespectful. There's just words.
Teach us something.
Yeah.
He's trying to teach us something.
It's fine. It's not personal. It's my truth.
That's pretty personal.
It's not personal.
You don't have to be here if you don't want.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't have to be here. I am here, and it's my duty. I feel it's my duty to speak my truth, and it is my truth. If you don't accept it, it's fine. But maybe there are some people that do accept it, and that feel the truth in it. I don't care about you. It's not personal. It's not personal. I don't care. And I don't care him either. But he's a teacher, so I feel it's my duty because he teaches this, each month for a lot of people. So
time is over.
Poisoning a lot of
Thank you for your listening. And then tomorrow you will have the last teaching. If I still alive and you still alive, we will have a chance to talk. If I pass away tonight and you will not have a chance to listen to me.
I hope you don't pass away tonight.
Okay. If you and I still alive, we will have a chance to talk to each other. Yes.
Can I just share something? I wanted to share it to you this morning, and it's interesting because it's happening now. But the mindfulness is definitely the key. But we need a very strong mind to actually use it, especially when we get angry. And that moment to be mindful is difficult, very difficult. So what I like to do is express that, but not to the person that we're angry with, but like go into the woods and scream it out, get it out of my system. Because the thing is, if you don't,
that's the way.
It'll store in the body.
Okay.
And the connective tissues.
That's the way to express your anger.
Yeah, you get it
okay.
out of the body, out of the system. Because if you just be mindful when your mind, body, and soul aren't speaking the same language, you might speak mindfully because you're telling yourself, I have to be mindful and live it out because you understand that you're not supposed to be angry. But if mind, body, soul aren't speaking the same thing, then you're just drawing it inward. And then you're suppressing it.
Okay.
Which then leads to stiffness and it leads to
okay.
and it just comes in, and that's unhealthy too. So I think when in situations of anger or when something steams up, we need to let it out. It can be air boxing, it can be screaming in it, breath, with whatever, but we need to release it. In order to then look at ourselves and maybe even laugh about how we were screaming in the wood or boxing, like just laugh about it, but we need to get it
Okay.
out.
That you express it out.
And sit
Out.
calm again.
Okay.
We can't always be calm, just taking it in.
And then that thing will end. That means end of suffering.
No, but you can then look at it with a calmer mind because the tension is released and you're not putting it in.
Normally, in psychology, they will do the same that you say. And that's not the way to solve the real problem.
No, but the mindfulness
You can solve the problem. You can solve the problem. You listen. You can solve the problem. But you cannot solve the real problem. In a moment, at that time, your anger will calm down. And you can stop your anger at that time.
And then you can solve the real problem. You have to get mindful again.
But the better way that come from your mindfulness. If you have mindfulness step when you know that you have angry. When you have anger in you, mindfulness step in, and that I mentioned about the Four Noble Truths. Do you remember how to do with it? Four Noble Truths. You have to answer 3 questions, each noble. Number 1, you have to know what is suffering. Number 2, how to do with it. You see, when you have to know first. That means you mindfulness have to step in. If you don't know yourself at that time, you still get angry. You cannot solve the problem. Because, as I say, the fish in the water, the fish never see the water. When you are in anger, you don't know that you are in anger. But when you know, that means you have your mindfulness at that time. And then you can observe. That means you are 6 person. You have to look at yourself. And again, from my lecture, if you cannot understand, not your fault, it's my fault. Because the lecturer have to communicate, have to present the knowledge that the audience can understand. If the audience cannot understand, that means the presenter have some weak point. So I have to observe myself. One day in Thailand, a man who won the prize of in music, in classical music, Thai classical music, that we call the musician of the nation. The musician of the nation, that man. And he really proud of himself. And he said one day, normally we will say that when you play the music, like you play the music for the bull, and the bull will not listen to you. Like I say something, like you don't understand. That means I play the music to the bull, and the bull will not understand the music. So that's musician, the national puppet, and wait a minute, and then he tried to communicate to the bull. The first time he played the classical music. It's very it's very good music, but the bull not listen, because the bull doesn't know that's good or bad. You know that. So he said, "Oh, I am what? The musician of the nation. Why? I have to play the music until the bull can communicate to me." And then he thinks, "Oh, the classical music, the bull will not listen." And then he thinks, "Oh, what the bull will listen? Oh, the sound of mosquito. You know, the sound of mosquito, because the bull will aware of the mosquito. So he will play the music as the sound of mosquito. So the bull will, oh, you see that. So not the bull fault, the musician fault."
The fish jumping in the water because it's happy.
Okay.
It should be afraid.
Okay.
And I will be working here.
This is your time now. It is the end of the session. This extra talking. Okay. Anjali?
Anjali Wantana Asiwan. Anjali Wantana Asiwan.